This is Weather or Not.
All right, it is Friday. That means it is Friday happy hour eventually. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about and getting into, and I'm certainly looking forward to. And we're also talking, of course, about a little bit of weekend rain and the big buzz around town, the potential for wintry weather and a whole lot of cold for next week.
Yeah, and certainly excitement in the weather community. Everyone just kind of on the edge of their seat every 6 hours as data comes in, and we'll get to that here in a second. First, though, let's kind of go through that first alert when it comes to your weekend and give you the first alert because we aren't going to have showers in the forecast. That hasn't changed. A little bit of a different timing, but I still think some dry time both Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I think we've, as you mentioned, that timing difference, we're kind of bumping up the arrival of the rain on Saturday so that it's mainly the first half of the day. I said this yesterday, a good excuse to sleep in and not worry about those Saturday chores.
After the week, I can even see like we're both we're struggling. The bags under the eyes from all of the model data. So yeah, rain in the morning for both. Let's go ahead and show you how this all plays out. Temperatures also going to be in the 60s on Sunday. All right, so here we are, 7 a.m. on your Saturday. We'll start to see bands of showers move through, and I really think by the middle of the day, all the way through at least the early afternoon, that's our best rain chance for Saturday.
Yeah, and not only a break in the rain, maybe a couple of breaks in the clouds.
I put it
looking
in the
more
forecast.
likely. Yeah, a little bit of sunshine peeking through, I think, as we head into Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, especially late into Sunday morning, likely going to see a next opportunity for showers, but it's not looking overly impressive.
Yeah, at this point, I think the best chances are going to be closer to the beaches. If you're inland, probably a cloudy morning for your Sunday, not to mention also a very warm morning. We warm up, and notice as we go throughout Sunday, any chance that we have quickly fades out of there. And yeah, I think even more sunshine. Temperatures on Sunday, the afternoon, 60s.
60s.
And they continue to climb. There were some models that liked mid 60s. We'll keep it low 60s for now.
Which is going to make what comes after Sunday even more dramatic. The warmer it gets Sunday, the harder it is going to fall Sunday night and into Monday. So that leads us into the big talker here as we head into next week. We're still looking at the likelihood now of some pipe-busting cold in the late Monday through early Thursday time frame. There could be spots that spend a solid consecutive 48 hours below freezing and even more hours than that, where we may briefly get above freezing Monday and again Thursday.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be cold, and there's now starting to become a trend where Monday at midnight will be your high temperature, and we will plummet throughout the day on Monday. So here's a preview of it. 38, 40 Monday at midnight. We fall as we go throughout the day. We'll have sunshine Monday, but a strong northwesterly wind will usher in the cold, and that cold really sets up where we could go from all the way below freezing Tuesday morning, maybe touch that 32 mark if we're lucky. If you're inland at this point, I don't think it will. But then we go and continue the cold. 23 there Wednesday morning. This is for the beach. You go inland, teens become pretty common, and you'll notice by Wednesday, 31. There could be some spots, like you said, not even above freezing until Thursday, sometime mid-morning.
Yeah, and this cold likely also going to be accompanied at least by a bit of a breeze at times, especially Monday, Tuesday, maybe even early on Wednesday. That means wind chills potentially in the single digits to around the 10-degree mark. And then, of course, the big thing that's a little more exciting to talk about than cold, and that is the potential for winter weather. Put this together yesterday, the three options we could be looking at next week.
Yeah, too late. I love this. Thread the needle. Too cold for snow. If you're a snow enthusiast like myself and Jamie, we're kind of hoping for the thread the needle scenario. But after the data that came in overnight and even this morning, I think it's fair to say that we can mark off that too late. And that too late scenario, Jamie, was like you said yesterday, that's Thursday and Friday system coming through, maybe a little bit of a slower development with the low pressure. Yeah, that's kind of out the window. Everyone's consistent on a low pressure being just near us or south of us as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday.
And this is what I like to call them. We don't get to say this a lot around here, this pattern, snow or no.
Yeah.
It's either going to do it or it's not going to do it.
In Kentucky, this was a very famous pattern living on the Ohio River too many times where snowstorms would come through Tennessee, even into southern Kentucky. And I'm sitting there right there on the Ohio River, cold as could be. And that is exactly what this pattern reminds me of. And I think that's also going to be important into the weekend. How do models handle temperatures? How do they handle the cold? Are they handling how far down it's coming? It's going to be very dependent on how we go into the weekend. And Man, it is model mania.
Model mania. So I do want to do a real quick recap. We kind of went a deep dive into this. If you missed yesterday's shows and you really want to get an in-depth look at models, go back and watch yesterday's shows where we kind of break down how we go from the operational model into the ensembles. We had our numbers wrong.
I know, I noticed it.
51 European ensembles, 31 GFS ensembles. That gives us a total of 82 possible outcomes just from those two models.
Every 6 hours.
Every 6 hours. So yeah, there's a lot of data flying around. So bottom line is we can take that ensemble data, we can start to get some averages, and we can start to get a clearer picture. And what that picture revealing for us here today, the chance of at least 1 inch of snow in Myrtle Beach in the next Tuesday through Wednesday time frame from the GFS, 42%.
And I love it too because, and we talked about this on First Alert Live this morning, and I brought this up, ensembles can sometimes predict the future. And that happened this morning. We had a European model that was once again a little bit further south. The European ensembles came in, and then the operational Euro came in. The Canadian also doing the same. It's been consistent ever since. But you watch these ensemble numbers, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to get 1 inch. But what's the trend as we go into Saturday? Are they climbing? Are they falling? And that will help our confidence for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But again, as we've been saying, you go 42% on the GFS, 55% on the European, the Canadian, which is just gung-ho on all kinds of snow and ice around here, 81% chance. We're still talking 5 days out.
Yeah, which is impressive.
Those are some impressive numbers when you kind of, again, we're looking at sort of an average forecast from each of those models. So that is certainly impressive. And what all of that does is basically still leaves us with this, although I do think before the day is done today, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some 40s and 50s sneaking in.
Yeah, I think we start to maybe even see some of those 50, maybe 50 plus. I think they go 30 to 50, and we always go the bottom threshold for the Carolinas, I'm sorry. But I would not be surprised to maybe see the 50s added to that, especially somewhere in our area down through the low country. And you'll notice the adjustment of that 30% now shifting it off to the southwest. I also wouldn't be surprised to see that 10% start to fall to the south too. We'll keep an eye on that as we go into the forecast.
Yeah, so speaking of models, just kind of show you how we've seen some changes, how we've sort of been waffling back and forth. This is the operational, the parent run of the GFS that came out early this morning. What's interesting is it had a storm. It lost the storm yesterday. It was kind of a tough day for snow lovers yesterday.
I was getting a little worried.
GFS, where's that storm? Where'd it go? And then last night, it started kind of creeping its way back, and now a bona fide winter storm across the Carolinas Tuesday into Wednesday.
And I'm really interested to see if maybe this is a trend too that's going to start showing up in the other data, because like you said, we went from nothing to a little bit of further southern track, and now, all right, we're going to get back on board with what the Euro looked like yesterday. In fact, now we take you to the Euro data here, and you'll notice the latest with it looks a lot similar to what the GFS did 24 hours ago, and flipped.
But also, even the European kind of lost the storm for a bit yesterday, last night, now kind of starting to creep it back in. So basically that leaves us here. We're sort of in that 4 or 5 day out time frame.
And at this point, I'll be honest with you, if you're in the Carolinas, you've lived here enough, you like the chances, at least you're in the stadium. That's the reference I said. You got a ticket to the game. You don't know where your seat's going to be here in 5 days, but at least you get to see the action, hopefully, somewhere nearby.
We're trying to make a cake. All the ingredients are in the kitchen. Now we just got to make it happen. We got to reel this one in.
And let me just go ahead and say patience.
Which I have none of.
Same. It is going to be a long process, but you'll notice as we go into that forecast, we'll start to get some confidence as we go into Saturday night, Sunday morning, and keep in mind, 4 rounds of model data each day. So that's 8 new rounds coming in over the weekend. That will change, probably cause some heartbreak at times, but hopefully some optimism as well. I do want to really emphasize, though, as we go into the next week, we know the cold's going to be there, and you mentioned this. We've thrown the chance of snow in the forecast. Look at the wind chill, though. Wednesday morning's going to be tough.
Yeah, Wednesday morning is going to be tough. This is kind of the core of the worst of the weather coming in for next week. Again, highs at or below freezing. Nighttime temperatures, teens to low 20s. Wind chills between about 7 and 15. as we head through Tuesday morning into Wednesday morning. And again, at least that chance of some snow and ice around here as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, and I'm very superstitious. I've been knocking on wood the entire time, anytime I mentioned the potential of winter weather. And we're going to see if we can reel something in here. Of course, we'll keep you posted on that. So, a lot of cold. We can guarantee that.
Yeah.
That's about all we can guarantee at this point here for your Friday and what has been a very busy week. And a prediction, even if we don't have winter weather, next week will be just as busy.
I predict I'm plopped up on the couch with the iPad, watching the models.
That's all we're going to
all
do.
weekend long.
If you want to get in on that too, join the conversation. You'll find us on X.
Yeah.
Jamie Arnold, WNBF, Andrew, WNBF, and our entire team is there. All right, let's have some Friday happy hour.
All right, where's the drink?
It's funny you say that. It's coming up. Let's go ahead and talk about, obviously, with all the fires that have been happening in California, stars are starting to come together to raise money for California wildfire victims. This reminds me so much of what they did with Helene for the concert for Carolina. The 2 Fire Aid concerts will happen later this month. Billie Eilish, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jelly Roll, Stevie Nicks. I'm in for that. John Mayer and Dave Matthews performing together. Organizers plan to add even more artists to this and stream the concert online. Tickets go on sale next week, and hopefully this will be able to help. I know Concert for the Carolina was a huge success, and I hope we see more of this in the wake of natural disasters.
And I didn't really get excited about this. I was watching the video and I was like, is that Stevie Nicks? Is that Stevie Nicks?
I saw you look down.
Is Stevie Nicks in here? Because she's going to be, oh, there she is. There she is.
So imagine Stevie Nicks coming in, doing a set, 45 minutes. You pay a couple dollars to donate and have a couple drinks and enjoy and feel good too, celebrating that.
I'll have to tune in. I'm not worried about Jelly Roll or anybody else, but Stevie Nicks, I'm all about it.
All right, let's go ahead. You mentioned drinks. I like this one because it is football season. I know, Jamie, you don't partake in football season. I don't even think you partake in Coors Light.
I'll partake in happy hour.
Well,
halftime.
exactly. Well, with all the football going on right now, Sundays are a little tough, especially when you're getting back into, the swing of things. So Coors Light's changing the name. For now, the beer company says they just want to bring a chill to one of the worst Mondays of the year because that is Super Bowl Sunday. And fun fact for you, I don't know if Jamie knows this, I've taken off Super Bowl Sunday for 7 years in a row. This is the first year, or Monday after Super Bowl, first year I'm going to be working because someone's going to be in Canada.
Sucks to be you.
In all seriousness, it is an earlier kickoff, 6:30. That's not a bad one. You know me, I stay up till 11. I'll be fine.
Whatever, you'll
I'll
be
be
fine.
fine. We'll see. Jenna says I'm going to be grumpy
Grumpy on
earlier.
Monday.
Let's go
Yeah,
ahead and
yeah.
go ahead. I'll let you do the last one here.
What is it?
For this. This is
Oh, yeah.
a little bit of art.
Art.
With some winter weather. We're going to reel it in.
All right, world's largest ice maze, 18,000 square feet. This is in Minnesota. The creator started making the ice way back in September. Spent a full month putting it together. It usually takes 20 to 30 minutes for people to make it through. That's pretty wild. Beating out a previous ice maze in Buffalo that was at 13,000 square feet. So this one's 18,000 square feet.
Look at this.
Wow.
I've never seen this. This is the first time I'm looking
fun.
at it, and I love the idea of it. Granted, when you're that cold, you can keep it year-round there for the winter. Look at how tall they've done that, too. So, trying to enjoy themselves in the cold. Speaking of cold, I know we didn't do coast to coast, but portions of Minnesota, the Northeast, next week, temperatures. Have you seen them?
That ice ain't going anywhere.
No.
Now, if you go through the ice maze, is there an ice bar at the end of it if you make it through?
I'm sure they have frozen drinks for you. If not, the drinks are already frozen. So certainly some fun. Hey, we want to remind you when it comes to weather or not and winter weather potential, you can download that WNBF First Alert weather app. You can also send your photos that way. But we're going to be updating this throughout the weekend. There will be a lot of updates coming there. So scan this QR code before you begin your Friday happy hour. And then that way you can stay updated with us on the cold weather and the potential for winter weather. There's some wood.
Yeah.
And we're going to remain superstitious.
We are. It's going to be a busy weekend. It's going to be a lot more changes. I put on Facebook this morning. It's like there's a hurricane in the Atlantic.
I love it.
We're in the forecast cone, and a couple of the spaghetti plots are right on top of us. That's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah. A couple
And we're
days out.
5 days out.
Yep.
And a lot can happen in 5 days.
And you know what? I'm sure, like me, many people probably just pictured what that means. Like in my idea, I'm like, all right, 5 days out of the cone, I got it.
Yeah.
So we will keep you posted on that. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
Make it a stress-free weekend too. We'll worry about the weather. We'll let you know if anything were to change.
Yeah, keep checking in with us. Have a great weekend, y'all.